sisters, generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And good day, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever time zone that we are in. And just got to be thankful and wake up, because when we alive and breathing, guess what? We are back to conquer another day, another year, and another decade. It's a wonderful thing. And salute to those who are standing upright and giving a good fight, because it can be a challenge sometimes in this here complex world we're living in. But salute to thy ancestors, those who fought so very hard to get many of us in that great divine space that we are in. Salute to my children, my biological children, my divine children, biological family, divine family. Salute, to the warriors, that's doing what we have to do without hurting ourselves or hurting no one else. It's beautiful when one gets to that space. But as some of our best underground philosophers say, it can take almost a lifetime. Some different strokes, different folks, as I like to say. But be thankful if we at a place of clarity, and it can be a challenge. Salute to my son Lord Lamont. Is doing well in his life and maintaining and clinging to that divine force. My son Ethan, he's doing well. I'll be volunteering. If not today, it'll be tomorrow. So I'll be speaking on that coming up soon, and staying with it and deflecting all toxic entities, whether it come through person, place, thing, and doing things like this just to keep therapy and keep one mind set on the right things of life, and don't be swayed by this, that, and the third. Stay focused. Our soul is the pinnacle of our life, our well-being. And we're gonna get into it, brothers and sisters. As you see on the banner and or thumbnail, that's Sister E, one of my favorite artists. I did a tribute to her. She's been on past hip-hop lists, and she's gonna be our inspiration today. I like to do that. And as well as we know, Eve loved herself, even in this song, one of my favorite songs. I love artwork too, so that's why I chose this for the banner and or thumbnail, because I used to draw. And salute to those who like to draw. And a brother Platform I listen to, he a genius when it comes to the art, drawing. And it's great. A lot of us always like to say it's a million and trillion billion gifts out there in that universe. Just reach out and grab it. That's why I say petty things, fighting, debating, it's so stupid and ridiculous, and it slows us down. It's like a negative magnet, weighs us down. Don't never get anywhere. Sometimes you have to get off to oneself. It just depends on the situation. Everybody's situation is different, but unless there's no medical condition, something we can't control, if there's nothing like that, we're healthy. Really running out of excuses, and again, one's not perfect, as none of us are, but we have perfect intentions. And I never thought we'd be living in a world where kindness is a threat to some people. As crazy as that sound, and we learn this. We keep living, as my grandmother say, rest in peace and in power, she used to say. And, we pay attention, study, learn, comprehend, this journey, whether in life or just wherever we are in our part of the world right now. Just may that great divine be with us. Keep our eyes open and keep learning. Don't let our heart become hardened. Make it more aware. We begin to know what or who to give our love to and who not. Now, we're going to kind of get into that word love. That word love kind of get thrown around. Now, I can say, I don't say that word a lot unless I really mean it. And, but we're going to get into it, Inner love is power all day long. And those who love themselves already know this. But this is just confirmation. I'm just a messenger, adding to humanity and our culture. Inner love is power. Man. Self-love is the best teacher, because when you learn through experiences, that's self-love. When you take the time when you get to a place when we understand, I always like to use that example from Malcolm X, rest in peace and in power. Actually, it's not an example. It's a teaching that he used to teach, how we can And we're going to talk about that word differentiation, because that's a new word for me. And that's something that we learn on this journey too. And I'm saying that to say, like Malcolm X, this is how we develop self-love and kind of understand why others, I'm talking about like in general, like family members, relationships, brothers and sisters in general, if they're toxic and doing things, we understand, but we don't understand, if you know what I mean. But it all starts with conditioning. And I get that from Malcolm X. I've said in the past, I've studied Malcolm X. I got papers written on Malcolm X. And that was one of his core teachings, was the conditioning. That's where we start. Some people can be helped, some cannot, unfortunate, But I like to paint a picture, but we're going to get to, because inner love has to be developed. And inner love is more than just floating on this cloud and I love you. It's a lot of things that come. You have tough love. You have, sometimes you have to kind of step back to show, love and make you not do things, the love of oneself, especially make you not jump off impulses. So it's a lot of things that go into love. It's more than just a romantic relationship. Love is something, it's supposed to be the glue that keeps the world together, theoretically. But we're going to talk about all kinds of love, whether brotherhood, sisterhood, family, relationship, and I'll just give advice and some suggestions. And, as I like to say when my son, Lord Lamont, and I are speaking, it's like a journey. So we come off that spirit, authenticity is a beautiful thing, but it has to be developed, practiced. And, when we see things play out in our lives, and we don't jump off impulses. Now, some things need to be said, because a lot of us speak on solitude, and I'm a stickler on impulses. And I have gotten better at pausing in certain situations, like if you feel like a heat of a debate or something like that. Just an example. I have gotten better at that. But also that word differentiation. Some things do need to be said, because words can be powerful, but make sure it's coming from a place of teaching, love, inner love, because it's power, remember, and it's the best teacher. So if it's something, we do have to confront something or someone. Be strategic about it. Sometimes you do have to be a little aggressive, but let it come from a place of truth, inner power, inner love, teaching, not bitterness or trying to get back or revenge. Nothing like that, because those are all poison. You have to be careful of that, especially if we're dealing with the old narcissist. If we are dealing with someone, because there's a lot of that going on. But again, folks, conditioning, like Malcolm X said, rest in peace and in power. Most melanated, if not all, pretty much all melanated brothers and sisters have come up under some kind of conditioning, way they've been raised, things they're used to. Some are aware, some are not. That's where that word differentiation comes in. And the art, man, of inner love, it's beautiful, because you can deal, I'll say, with a toxic individual, but not lose your love. And that's what I mean by inner love. That's what I mean. That's why what I mean about self-love is the best teacher. Because when you teach yourself, you love yourself. Nothing on the outside can taint it, But at the same time, it will help you see into others why they do what they do, whether brother, sister, family, male or female. It will still, like I said, have that teaching love where we still see why they do what they do. But again, we're not a doormat. We don't let people walk over us, but we never lose our love within and still understand others at the same time without being poisoned by toxicity. That can be done, but that takes mastery, takes practice, takes awareness, not, like they say, two wrongs don't make no right. That's true. But one still has to learn. And that goes back to what I said a few minutes ago. Some things do have to be said. Some person or people, places or things do have to be confronted, but we can still be mature in how we confront whatever situation that is, because some things do need to be said, but we don't have to do it where we're, again, don't let it come from a place of bitterness or revenge or defensive, as my son and I were discussing. on that last podcast we had. Raw talent. And it keeps our anxiety down, which we're gonna get into. And still keep our flow smooth, keep our journey smooth, because there's always gonna be challenges. We keep that in our mind. That'll keep us strategic and not jumping off impulses. And knowing, as we all have learned, most of us that are aware of ourselves, brother, sister, it could be younger or older, but as most of us know, a lot of things would, like, let's say for instance, like, someone just disrespectful, you don't know why, or they crash out. These are just examples. When we get to a space where we know why, because a lot of times when people, if they lash out, if they're disrespectful or something like that, a lot of times if a person holds anger or hate, it's not against those who have self-love. It's not against us or them. They're angry at themselves. But it takes some studying and takes some practice and some mastery to get to that space, to understand that, but when we do, man, it's beautiful. So a lot of times when people are disrespecting, whether it's brother, sister, male or female, it's not us that they're angry at or mad at or whatever it is, venom, whatever it is. It's not us, brothers and sisters. They're mad at themselves. Because, again, I always go back to myself, how I used to be before I was aware of my behavior. And it was a time I wasn't aware of one's behavior and just, it was dysfunctional, more or less, and thought it was normal. That's what dysfunction is sometimes. We think the dysfunctional things we do are normal because we're under what I said Malcolm X said. A lot of melanated brothers and sisters have come under conditioning, folks. And it can be sad in some cases, especially when it's ongoing and it's years on end. It's like a spell that never gets broken. That's why I came up with Spell Breaker at your service. Here to, as well as my son, Lord Lamont, and myself, we're here to generate spell breakers. Again, something he came up with. So, but even though we do have love, inner love within, and we know we have that power, and we know the teachings of it, there's always going to be challenges. When we keep that in our mind, that's what will keep us strategic and not becoming like the narcissist, because that can happen. Narcissism is contagious, because as many of us that know what a narcissism is and the behaviors and all that, we know how they, because it's different stages. Like I said, you got full blown narcissism. Then you got individuals that got narcissistic traits. So, but it takes learning again and mastery, paying attention to oneself, and then we can see the voids in others. Not that we're looking for it. It's just that when we have love within, it will highlight toxicity in others. And we learn this on this journey. And again, I don't make light of it, but some things do need to be discussed. People say they want the truth until they get it. It's kind of funny. But we're going to get into some summaries. And again, inner love, man, it's power, brothers and sisters. Let nothing on the outside of it, person, place, or thing, whatever it is, take away that love within. Again, self-love is the best freaking teacher all day, every day. So I want to read a summary of the benefits of inner love. But before I get to that, I want to paint a picture. Now, this is just my own little story I want to come up with, and I can relate to it. I'm sure many others want to paint a picture. Okay, you got two that meet. We're going to say male and female. We say they just met. Okay, now both of them are under that conditioning that I was talking about, that example I used from Malcolm X. Okay, both are under some kind of dysfunction, okay, but they both meet. Now, of course, when two individuals, now again, this is just an example. I'm just painting the picture. Okay, let's say these two individuals both are dysfunctional, okay, and they're together, let's say 17 years. I'm gonna say 17. I like the number 7. That's my number. That's my son's number 2. Lord Lamont, salute. Which is kind of amazing because I was reading the singer Maya, the R&B singer Maya. She went celibate for 7 years. That's dope. And I forgot to tell my son that number 7, that's our number. Just keep popping up. But that's a part of clarity too when you see numbers, because everybody has a divine number, but some people just not in that space. Again, when we're not exploring and petty stuff, we'll never see the bigger picture in ourselves or others. But let's go back to this picture that I was painting. Let's say two individuals meet, male and female. We're talking about romantic. Okay, they're together 17 years. Now, during this 17 years, one begins to change. One is coming out of their dysfunction, seeing clarity, seeing, like the fall, what they say, they see their old ways. They like this song by T.I., The Old Me Dead and Gone. We think different. We begin to explore. We research. We start learning, and we don't like how we used to be. So we begin to change. But guess what? And it could be either or, male or female. That's what one don't. One is reluctant to change and stuck in that conditioning. And I'm talking about individuals that's aware and healthy. And that's, like I said, some cases can be sad. So what do? We try to teach this person. We try to help this person. Try to elevate this individual. 17 years. And, okay, now both of these individuals reach that 17-year mark. Okay, now the individual that's changing and went through the changing and clarity and has awakened, but the other individual hasn't awakened. And eventually a wedge will be drawn. And because when one spirit becomes strong with that truth, it will disgust us. We won't be able to tolerate fake anymore and fake love. It just, our spirit, we get like that. Our spirit would just won't tolerate it. Even if we don't say nothing for a long time, eventually it will come out. But see, that's where the mastery of inner love comes in. But of course, it takes practice. We learn this eventually. So by the time you get to the 17 years, of course, the one that's awakened will end up probably splitting away from the other individual. And that happens a lot in relationships, especially in these times. And it's sad. So instead of the individual that hasn't awakened, instead of them seeing that, and they will hate you because you have awakened. And it's sad, And this is, it's a lot of things going on in this world. This is just one thing that happens in relationships, because there are many topics and discussions one can speak on, because remember, it's a big ass world out here. I always keep that in one's mind. That's why you see me on banners sometimes with up in the sky and over the building. I just did a song here recently called Love Our Soul, and it was over the buildings in the city, in the sky. Got to keep our mind elevated. Can't fix the unfixable. That's why I painted that picture, And it's sad in some cases because, okay, and I'm going to speak from a brother standpoint. Sisters that are in that condition, it can be sad, and it's like they get stuck in those ways and don't come out of them. Now, not saying that brothers are perfect, but I'm just kind of speaking from my brother's point of view. They have gotten to somewhat of a space of awareness. Again, it could take a lifetime, So, all you can do, what do we do with those that can't be fixed? All we can do is call down protection, help them the best way we can, but can't love or help one that can't love themselves. Because remember, a lot of times when one is disrespectful to another, especially to someone that's been helping them and, things like that, as many of us know, they're not angry at us. They're angry at themselves. And, what we call, what's that new word? Projection, And again, narcissism can be contagious. So we have to be careful if we are around narcissistic individuals that it don't get off on us. It's like a virus. It get into us and we won't realize it. So we got to make sure we keep ourselves straight, But like I said, some things do need to be confronted. But even then, it can come from a place of love, teaching, and awareness all day, every day. Man, because what I say, inner love is power all day, every day. And self-love is the best freaking teacher. We learn this on this journey, So, and this right now, what I'm doing, this is self-love, self-teaching of love. We analyze, break things down. Think about the woulda, coulda, shouldas, that woulda, coulda, shoulda syndrome. Many of us have had a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. We don't know by now, We'll never know. So cling to that inner love, my brothers and sisters. Of course, gonna have a hip hop break, and I want to get back to this summary that I got. The benefits, man, and the fulfillment of the power of inner love all day. So, gonna get to this hip hop break. And let me see. One song, I don't remember what the songs were. Let me see. Two songs, of course. And so again, salute to Eve. I love artwork. I thought this was unique when I saw it. And it was always my favorite part of the video. Yeah, if we all remember the song, who's that girl? La 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 la. Who's that girl? Yeah, I love Eve, and you can tell she's always carried herself well, as far as I know. I've never really heard her in no drama or nothing. And salute to Rough Riders, which the group she was in. Rest in peace and empire, DMX. Salute to Styles P and Jadakiss and all the brothers and sisters that's in that group, Rough Riders. One of my favorite hip hop groups. So like us, I'm trying to get to this. The computer act funny sometimes. You know how it go. I don't know why it's acting crazy. Forgive me for the pause. I don't know what's going on. Why that's good. What is going on? Excuse me for the pause, brothers and sisters. This computer is acting funny. Yeah, it seems to be a lot of that going around these days. These computer glitches. Makes you wonder, don't it? I don't know why this is doing this. Yeah, I was going to get to this hip-hop break. Y'all know I like to have hip-hop breaks. Why is this doing this? All right, brothers and sisters, give me a moment. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Computer glitches, but we ain't gonna let it stop the flow. You know how I go. We're gonna get to this hip hop break. Let me see, I might have to. I don't even want to edit it, but we're gonna leave it in here. I'm so sorry, but thank those for riding along. I appreciate you, and may that great divine be in our life. And first song is Become One, and the next one is Lift Your Soul. I made another song called Lift Your Soul, but this is a different version. Yep. Yo, forgive me for that pause. Thank those been riding along. Current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view. I salute you and thank you. And we're gonna get back into that, man. Inner love is power, brothers and sisters. Man, embrace it. Don't let nothing take it away. Keep it within. It'll help us to see, the bigger picture. There is beauty out here amongst some of this chaos. So, but beauty within is beautiful. So be back after this. Become one. All day, every day.
Yeah. Salute. Become one with that divine. Become one. Open up our mind. Become one with that divine. Become one and open up our mind. Honor and respect goes a long way. Connect to that divine and just stay safe. Know thyself, no mental case. A spirit so strong, never be in no cage. To hell with social media, people be fake. Protect one psyche and better be straight. And study our behavior for goodness sake. And shine like the sun and never be done. And focus in this life, but also have fun. And stay intelligent, no time to be dumb. And fuck this system, don't want your crumbs. With that divine, I become one. Open up our mind. Be one with that divine. Become one with that divine. We know our power, we can't be stopped. I like one spitting tools on his hip hop. Don't care about the bottom, nor the top. I'm true to oneself, take it up another notch. And if you doing good, I'll give you your props. I know sometimes, man, that could mean a lot. I'm all about the message, don't care if it's hot. It's coming from the soul, every song that I drop. And fire burning deep inside about the pop. And to my baby mothers and my daughters and my sons, I face all challenges, never ever run. When you look within, and brother, you have won. So just become one with that divine. Become one and open up our mind. EBX, become one with that divine. Just become one and open up our mind.
Real talk, brothers and sisters. Excuse me. Man, open up our mind. That's the only way, man. We're gonna see into the core of ourselves. Open up our mind, if we're able to, Again, I know we have things out here or in us that we can't control sometimes, but if we're a healthy human being, brother or sister, male or female, do yourself a favor. Work on that inner love, Be mindful of our behavior. What we do righteous in the present will ultimately benefit us in the future. I know I say that a lot, but we all gonna get old one day. So, these people in their 40s and close to their 50s and still doing foolish things like we did in the 20s, I feel sorry for them. I really do. Can't fix the unfixable. But I will always, as a brother, as many of us, salute great generals out here that really do care about humanity and their culture. We would try our best to lift your soul, but we can only do so much as brothers and sisters, especially those who are teaching out here, who are warriors. So be back after this. Lift your soul.
Yeah, I've been sent here to lift souls by any means necessary, and I'm never gonna stop, because I come straight from the heart to lift my brothers and sisters, my family. That's what we're supposed to do in hip-hop. High infinite power, helping our people. Salute! I'ma lift your soul, my sisters and my bros, by any means necessary. I'ma lift your soul, my sisters and my bros. Yeah, here I go, and yeah, I'm on a roll. You know I never fold, never be knocked up off my toes. True to oneself, not playing no more. I'm planting good seeds, cause we reap what we sow. And fuck the industry, cause they can treat you like a hoe. I want a spirit high, and never ever low. And so fucking real, a heart like steel. Not looking for attention, so I sat back and chill. It's my divine, and that creator's will. I'ma lift your soul, my sisters and my bros, any means necessary. Lifting up, no, I gotta touch, cause it's rough. Keep doing good, my sisters, my brothers, my father, my mother, and others. No kidding, my children, no hating. All love, cause we're the guys from up above. I will always rock, no, I never stop. I love to stand and call hip-hop. It's for you to make it through, and cyber words, don't you ever pop. Stay great, don't be fake, and lift the youth and pay the way. Keep teaching those and reach goals. Keep on, just lift the souls. I'ma lift your soul, my sisters and my bros. I'ma lift your soul, by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a purpose in life, then what the heck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? We gotta raise each other. How we are to our circle and the vibration is important. So lift your soul, my sisters and my bros, by any means necessary. Salute.
Real talk. Lift your soul. Yeah. My sisters and my bros. Y'all know I love hip hop. Yep. Well, we'll continue, but the fight goes on. See, and that's where that the power, the inner love comes in. We keep right on going. That's the thing. See, that's why I said love, inner love, is the best teacher. Self love is the best teacher, because when you got love within, even though we come across situations, challenges, things don't work out sometimes, that inner love, when we've mastered it, keeps us going. Nothing can take that. When you get to a point where nothing can take that away, you tell me what can fuck with you. But we don't become hard or cold. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I said we're gonna get to that word differentiation. Knowing that, again, first start off with what I said earlier. Many of us come up under some kind of conditioning, so that's where we start. And a lot of times hate, anger, jealousy, whatever the case may be. I'm mostly speaking on romantic relationships. A lot of times it's not the individual that the person might be mad at, or a narcissist or whatever. Is they mad at themselves, And I don't know. It's funny. It's like if a person is a narcissist, it don't matter. I'm talking about if they're really bad and and they can't change. Some people just can't if they wanted to, Those types are sad. And it's like the more you're kind to them, I don't know, the worse they get. That's weird to me, but a lot of us have experienced this. So kindness triggers something in those who, I don't know, are not able to be empathic or know how, because they've been damaged. I always take that into consideration. Like I said, how I used to be. Some individuals are so damaged, they're like damaged beyond repair. And it's really sad. It's heartbreaking. And it's like, no matter what we try, there's nothing we can do. But don't lose that inner love, because there are individuals out in this world, whether it's family, children, that do want to be helped and can change, So that's what keep us going, keep us righteously motivated, because inner love, it's beautiful and so powerful. So don't forget it, brothers and sisters. Self-love, the best teacher. So that's what love is doing right now. What we're doing right here, right now. My generals, warriors, salute. Thank yourself and love yourself, All right, let's get to it. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. I want to get to these couple of summaries I have. The benefits of inner love. Let's get it. The benefits of inner love or self-love include improved mental and physical health, such as reduced anxiety and better sleep, and enhanced self-esteem and self-awareness. And something I noticed about, individuals that may have narcissistic tendencies or are full blown, they don't sleep good. It's like I don't know. Cause you have like brothers and sisters like who are creative and, cause I do a lot of thinking and stuff, but narcissists are different. It's like they're always paranoid and they always think somebody doing something wrong to them. And the old saying goes, if you're a liar, if you're a thief, if you always have evil intent and manipulative, that's a funny word, forgive me. Manipulative. If you're that way in the core, that's how you're going to see everything. So that's kind of how I see a narcissist. They're always on edge. It's like they have this superiority complex and they want everybody around, it's like everything evolve. They want everything to evolve around them, But I won't get too far into that. A lot of us have experience. Like, again, it's sad because a lot of times kids are involved, it impacts a life in a bad way sometimes. It's sad. It really is. When one don't have that inner love. All right. Well, again, can't fix the unfixable. All right. Let's keep going. Improved mental and physical health, such as reduced anxiety and better sleep, and enhanced self-esteem and self-awareness. Okay, inner love, it fosters confidence and happiness, strengthens relationships, and allows for better stress management and a positive outlook on life. Cultivating inner love can also lead to a more authentic self-expression. That ties into what I said a little while ago. Some things do need to be confronted and said, but still play out the scenario. let a person know, still in a constructive way, no matter how they talk or whatever, still maintain a constructive, intellectual, like again, coming from a place of teaching, love, not bitterness, not revenge, not trying to make nobody feel bad. Because when we're doing that, we're stepping over into toxicity. So we want to stay away from that. Stay within the power of love, real talk. Because that's what will strengthen us and also keep us looking young. And it's great for our immune system. Because stress is nothing good comes out of stress or negativity. So you name one thing that's good that comes from negativity, evil, manipulation. Nothing good comes out of none of that if it's coming from a person with wrong intent. Brother, sister, male or female. All right. It fosters confidence and happiness. Talking about inner love. Strengthens relationships and allows for better stress management and positive outlook on life. Cultivating inner love can also lead to more authentic self-expression, increased motivation, righteous motivation, and a greater capacity for empathy and emotional regulation. So if you don't, I don't know how that's a battle for some people, because I love having empathy. Empathy is what helps you understand oneself and others, self-love. But those have to take time, and really love themselves and not faking through it, because it's not going to get you anywhere. You can't fake love. You really can't. Those who are aware, as think, if we are fortunate to be aware and have clarity, we will know. Our spirit, again, we get up to a certain age or a certain awareness, our spirit is just not going to tolerate fake shit, period. All right, because we're talking about mental health here, well-being, behavior, how one behavior is serious, energy is real, one has to be mindful of one's behavior, and those who, as we know, narcissists, they have no empathy. I mean, I've experienced it. I don't know. It's like trying to help Humpty Dumpty. They just keep falling off the wall, and you put their ass back up on the wall. They jump their ass back off, and they just keep doing it. And it's sad in some cases. All right. Mental health benefits. This is the benefits still of inner love. Improved mental well-being. Self-love can significantly decrease anxiety. Because if you're not carrying anxiety all the time, you can have clarity. You can see, All right. Anxiety and lessen the symptoms of depression. Yep. And PTSD. Higher self-esteem and confidence. Embracing our true self, including our shortcomings. See, that's the battle right there for, I would say, again, people with narcissistic tendencies, or that's their battle right there. Not being able to just admit their shortcomings, because that's what will elevate us. That's when our momentum will move, when we're able to just accept that we're weird or our quirks, and being honest, because it frees your mind. I hate to sound cliche, but it does. When you just accept your goofy quirks and whoever we are, and not trying to put up a facade, and really do try to love and not use it for manipulation, because it's going to come back and bite you on the ass. I don't give a damn. People just, I don't know. I guess they think they can override gravity or something. Stupid. All right. Embracing our true self, including our shortcomings, builds self-acceptance of oneself and a stronger belief or knowing in our capabilities, knowing what we can do and what we can't do, and knowing that we're not always right all the time. I'm telling you, we'll elevate so far in life that way, but we also learn that word differentiation. I'm going to get to that. Greater emotional regulation, which is beautiful. Deeper understanding, overstanding, or understanding of oneself allows for better management of emotions and a reduction in negative thought patterns. And that ties in what I said a little while ago about confronting. Sometimes we do have to confront, but we can still confront, because again, some people need to know, because some people, You can be silent, but some people silent don't work. Some things, but again, we'll know that word differentiation. We'll know if we've mastered energy and emotions. We'll know how to pick our battles, so to speak. When to hold them, when to fold them. Kind of like the song. Yep, better management of emotions and reduction in the negative thought patterns. Again, when we're confronting something or someone or dealing with a challenge or situation, whatever it is, this is a general thing. Never let it come from a place of bitterness, revenge, venom, manipulative, none of those things. Let it come from a place of truth, authenticity, and honesty, no matter how challenging it seems. Sometimes people need to hear the truth, even if you do have to come a little aggressive. It doesn't have to come with and cussing nobody out. You don't have to do none of that. Even if you do throw a cuss word in there, still don't let it come from a place of revenge or hate or any of that, because then we're being like the narcissist. All right, increase self-awareness. Inner love promotes understanding and overstanding our motivations and values, which can lead to personal growth. And that goes back to the scenario thing. Like, and when you're going to confront someone, that's another thing. I'm a stickler on impulses. We think about it when we're going to confront them. Ask yourself questions like, okay, why should I tell this person this? Why do this person need to hear this? Why should they be confronted? And a lot of times, if they've done it like a disrespect, I'm still kind of speaking on romantic relationships. If they've done it a disrespectful thing, especially if it's harmful to one's well-being for themselves and the other partner, they've done it numerous times. That's when it has to be confronted. Now, a few times maybe, but if it keeps happening and the person act like they just don't care and they just keep being toxic, and that's you have to, like my son said, some things do have to be confronted. But again, we still can be strategic and intelligent in how we do it, because that's power. It really is, especially when somebody's ranting and raving, as long as they ain't touching you physically, and that's power, because they let you, when you're kind of silent and strategically waiting when to confront something or someone, you don't give your power away. You let the other individual, you see more, you let them show you who they are. We learn this, mastery. It's beautiful. But again, it's a process, practice, study, paying attention to oneself. Because again, when one has inner love, real inner love, divine love, then we'll be able to see into others and see why they the way they are. Because a lot of time it's not the person that's being kind that they're angry at, it's themselves. So once we learn that, then we have like a aha moment. And that's how we'll learn how to approach different situations, human interactions, But again, I'm mainly speaking on romantic relationships, and this is kind of for my sisters, And I'm kind of speaking on somebody specific, but not going in. See, and that's I'm giving an example of speaking on a situation without coming from a place of revenge or hate or bitterness or defensive, because we can lose ourselves in that, keep ourselves straight, keep ourselves flowing, and keep our momentum, at a steady pace. And when I say momentum, I'm talking about within ourselves, and it will trickle on out to our lives, And when one is kind and one really hasn't done nothing, now don't let outside offenses get into our mind and make us doubt ourselves, stuff like that. Gotta be careful of that. That's where that power of inner love comes in. If you know you right in your heart and you done nothing wrong, I'm talking about a general thing. You remember, I don't like to isolate things, but just again, many things need to be discussed in this life. This is just one area, so, and that's how we got to keep our mind again above and beyond. See, when you have an above and beyond clarity type thinking, we will see why individuals do what they do, So again, the hate one holds, people who have a chip on their shoulder and always think somebody at them. One, it's conditioning. Two, when one is sneaky, manipulative, and all those things, they're gonna think everybody around them is. So Remember that. All right, now I want to read this other summary about differentiation. This word has been in my spirit a lot. We learn this word differentiation. We'll start learning what love really is. When we get that clarity as brothers, sisters, generals, families, salute, man, we'll start being able to differentiate real love from fake love. We'll know manipulative love when we see it. We'll know real love when we see it. So again, let's get into it. Leaders and teachers, student spirit. Differentiation is actually a benefit to the mind. Differentiation offers numerous benefits to the human mind by catering to individuals' needs and promoting cognitive and emotional growth. In educational contexts, differentiation customizes learning to an individual's strengths and interests, which improves engagement, depends understanding the strengths and neural pathways in psychological contexts. It is the process of developing a clear sense of self while maintaining emotional connections to others, which fosters resilience and maturity. So what I get out of that is, like, when we're dealing with something or someone that's toxic, but not losing ourselves, being able to not really engage, but it's I don't want to, it's kind of hard it's not hard to explain, because many of us have mastered this. We can again, like, a person is toxic, whatever, or something is toxic, we learn that differentiation. We know how to show love but not give away our love. We know how to share our empathic abilities but not lose ourselves. That's where that differentiation comes in. And because, again, a lot of us, well, me, I can't speak for everybody. I remember how I was. So, and as I said before, when I see brothers and sisters or my family, even those who are toxic, I see myself in them. So sometimes we are a mirror to toxic things, person, place, or thing, without even knowing it. All we doing is just being ourselves, which a lot of us are genuine, kind, but we're not punks. Being kind, as a lot of us say, and I've said many times before, it's not a weakness. It's a gift, because being kind can be a challenge. It's not an easy thing, but it's good for our soul. It's food to the soul. Being kind, giving to others, thinking positive thoughts, not being a pessimistic and always being negative. It's draining, and anybody can feel it. Even if a person really isn't like that spiritually rooted, or especially melanated brothers and sisters, we just have that in us. We just can feel energy. But even, it's sad in some cases, and it's draining when one is negative all the time and whining and if you do something for them, they find fault in it. That's danger. If you find fault in everything, and you have very little, if you have more negative in your life than positivity, you might want to check yourself. Real talk. We all have challenges, but most of us that are aware and have fought through fires, have blazed through fire, we will let nothing take our love, our peace. We never negotiate our soul. And negotiating our soul is more than just going to the industry. Because as we know, those who are, not saying everybody, a narcissist, that's another thing too. Don't think everybody is a narcissist. Not everybody is a narcissist. That's where that word differentiation comes in. So again, that's where the studying human nature and really paying attention, because we can't get trapped in that either. Don't think that everybody's a narcissist, but if we're aware and we study what a narcissist is, and make sure we're not either, now we'll know, and just by one's actions. Because if many of us have studied narcissists, they can only hold up a facade for so long, and they're eventually sabotage their own selves. Again, I really don't make light of it. It's sad in some cases, like you can't do nothing for them, Again, it's like Humpty Dumpty. You keep putting them on the wall, they keep falling, It's sad, but we still give love anyway, because some things people don't forget. Real talk. That's why I say teaching always come from a place when we're teaching, we come from a place of love, power though, not a naive love, not a soft love, but love nonetheless, because it's beautiful and it's a gift, and it's more than just saying it. And my son, Lord Lamont, he tells me that all the time. And I'll admit, I don't say it to him all the time, but I said it the last time. I need to say it in person, but I texted him and told him. Because, life too short. It really is. And I really feel sorry for people who just being petty and don't have their eye on the bigger picture. That's why I say on this channel, I go above and beyond. There's a lot of things that's going on in this world. As we say, distractions are at an all-time high. There's always something going on with some politician, some damn celeb. So we need to really, really pay attention as one tries to do, And the individual, well, the sister I'm talking about, actually Ethan's mom, I'm kind of speaking on her more or less, but see how I didn't talk down on her, or see, because that'll be coming from a place of bitterness, and I'll be being, like if I really. Now, even when I painted the picture about the two individuals together for 17 years, I was kind of thinking about me and her, but we ain't been together 17 years. It's been 12 years off and on, or 11 years off and on. And because one knows the power of inner love and knowing how toxicity can poison us, that's why I don't bash or talk down. But some things do need to be confronted, especially when children's involved, because we have to stop that cycle, that conditioning, that melanated, the spell needs to be broken. So we can't not do nothing, you know what I mean? So but I could sit here and bash, things that sisters I've met and I've dated and stuff. Some things I've been through, people will be like, damn, but we don't have to do anything. Life will teach them, brothers and sisters. That's also the best teacher. Mama Nature, great divine, the universe. It's gonna teach you. I say 1,000 times, whatever we harbor deep within, good or bad, it will come out sooner or later. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So again, I could sit here and bash and talk about how sisters ain't this and sisters ain't that, but what would that do? Two wrongs don't make no right, and that would just make me be like what I'm talking about. That's what we're trying not to be. We discuss things though. Again, some things do have to be confronted, and spells do need to be broken. Spell breaker at your service. So thank those for coming in, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about inner love, and self-love is the best teacher all day, every day. Yep, self-mastery, can take years, depending on the situation, how much willpower one has. Brother, sister, family, general. It's a process, and but it takes experiences, We can't not be afraid to love. Don't let toxic things that happen to us be afraid to love another. No, we just have to. We don't let ourselves become paranoid. We just kind of be more aware, and and figure out what we can change within ourselves too. Again, don't think something's wrong with everybody else. We don't want to get stuck in that space, but we assess one person at a time. But don't lose that love, because we don't want to miss one who might have real love. You know what I mean? Great Divine takes us through a few challenges sometimes just to get us right. But some of us don't listen. Some of us spend our whole lives on that, what I always say, that damn hamster wheel, waiting on that pellet. All right. I actually had 3 spell breaker statements. That was number 1. Number 2, never let dysfunction poison our inner love. Can't fix the unfixable. And it's sad. Some people are broken beyond repair. And it's sad. It really is. It really is sad. Sad but true. All right, last but not least, 3rd spell breaker statements. Truth is what inner peace. Truth will last with us. Let me see. Hold on. I can't read my own damn writing. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Truth will sustain us in our inner love all day. The truth. Got to be truthful, even when it's not easy, And forgive me for the pause earlier in the show and the fumbles and the computer glitching. That happens sometimes, but forgive me for that. But this is something one was feeling in one's spirit. And see, when we're not that I'm having a challenge now, but if we're pondering something, things like this is what we do. Even if we're not speaking, talk to oneself, and reason with oneself, as I heard from a great brother Kwaku, salute, reason with oneself, and analyze things, observe, like Lord Lamar says, salute, and come out with a solution. Again, some things may have to be said, maybe a little aggressive, but again, don't let it come from a place of toxicity, bitterness, hatefulness, revenge, and I'ma show them. And nope, never get in that mode. Stay in a loving mode, stay in a teaching mode. Remember, love is a gift, it's not, and not everybody's able to love oneself. For some people, it is a battle. Because as I've said before too, we don't win that battle in our psyche. We've already lost. And there's people that's having big time battles in that psyche, in that core. That's where the hardest battles are fought. In that subconscious, brothers and sisters. That's why I say, cultivate good things in our subconscious. Don't manipulate. We got to break that cycle, and that's why I put spell breaker by one's name. So you around me, you're going to get the truth. I'm sorry. You're going to feel funny around one, and not just me, many of us, our vibration reeks the truth, and it reeks love. That's what inner power does. It reeks. It comes off our vibration, even when we don't speak. We see it in our walk, our talk, our presence. I love to use that example from Malcolm X. Salute, rest in peace and in power. When we're righteously thinking right, I'm talking about thinking in our thoughts, but I'm talking about righteously. When we think right, we talk right. When we think right, we eat right. When we think right, we behave right. It all begins with a thought, especially those who are aware of their manipulative ways and they know what they're doing. There's too much information out here. There's things out here to help us. And some people are intelligent but refuse to come out of those old ways, So, but all we can do as brothers and sisters is keep lifting, keep ourselves healthy, and fix those that want to be fixed, and I don't mean like saving, having a savior complex, but giving a positive word. We can only do so much because there's a lot of generals out here, brothers and sisters, who need help and want help, and don't take life for granted. Again, you got brothers and sisters may be poor and don't have a lot, and so appreciative and thankful. Got people that got a roof over their head and got everything and just whining and moaning and complaining. Divine don't like no damn whining. Mother Nature don't whine. Mother Nature moves accordingly, naturally, and deals with every challenge accordingly. It always come back to nature. I'm so glad that I was inspired to learn about human nature, oneself, and Mama Nature. And what we'll get out of that is inner love all day long, brothers and sisters. Study, research, whatever area we're having trouble in, study in that area, read about it, research. Again, I don't solely rely on Google or on that shit, but we can get an idea from it. And remember, folks, especially melanated brothers and sisters, all this shit came from us anyway. So use it for what it is. Just don't lose ourselves in it and get something positive out of it, even when we're going through a so-called storm or challenge. What I'm doing right now, this is the way to do it. Bitterness, venom, hate, revenge is not the way. Even if one is immature, still understand why they're immature. But again, folks, it can be sad. Real talk. Yep. Again, like I said, some individuals, some now, whether in the world, high status, low status. Some brothers and sisters, family, some, not all. Some are broken beyond repair. So just got to keep that in mind. But don't let those who are standing upright, don't let it stop our love. Don't let it make us become bitter, because we need warriors in this life, in the world, online. Brother, sister, family, real talk. So thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX discussion, and I just uploaded a song. I think I just said it in the early part of the podcast. I uploaded a song called Love Our Soul So Heartily. Become best friends with our subconscious. Love yourself. Hug yourself, you know, and it'll shine. Our vibration will just shine, you know. So we those of us that are chosen, so to speak, we are walking mirrors. And we're going to mess up your program if you're not right within. I'm talking about healthy individuals that are aware of their toxicity and know what they're doing. We're gonna mess up your programming. It's a lot of programming out here. Those that are generals, we're gonna mess up people's programming. You know why? Because we got that inner love. Self-love is the best teacher all day, every day. So keep teaching yourself. Keep cultivating that love. Never lose it, you know. It's a gift. It really is. Don't take it for granted, you know. So stay with it, my generals, you know, my soldiers, those who've been riding along, you know. It's a wonderful space to be when one loves themselves, you know. So, again, those who don't have love, it's not us. If they're lashing out or crashing out, remember, it's not us that they're angry at. It's themselves. But all we can do is show them, lead by example, you know. But I tell you, brothers and sisters, in this life, you learn nothing else from me on this channel, you know. Inner love is power. Salute. Has been brought to you by Mama Nature.